This is the file holding all the information and documentation we have on the anomaly known as the Senseless Forest, or the Forest of Senselessness, depending on which way you want to say it. It also includes the documentation of the mercenary known as Vulture, who was tasked with documenting his trip to the forest and his mission to retrieve the object from the center that terraformed the island. If you don't like hearing my voice read over the document, then you may mute me and read the document itself as it goes on. The company does not care whether you hear me talk it out or read it, for they only want you to know the information if they recommended you this video. The mercenary himself used to be affiliated with a group of hunters that hunted anomalies, but he was kicked out for multiple reasons, which you can read for yourself. There's also two things which we asked him not to really do during the mission, which he liked, which was you breathing in this strange gas, which he said gave him a boost, but we feared would hinder his effectiveness on the mission. He also uh, loved doing something, which was opening and dissecting things he hunted, whether they be creatures or animals, to even anomalies, which is why he was given the name Vulture for picking apart things. Now on to the creatures themselves of the forest. In the forest itself, the forest was the result of an object that terraformed an island, which we were researching because of the anomaly that was sending out strange feelings to people who passed by who said their senses were being hindered, whether it being their sight not being able to see as far and fogginess in their vision, to even not being able to hear things from farther away when they should. Now, it was not a major priority before we lost contact with the research team from the execs, but the priority did increase afterwards. We sent a group of armed men, which, for some reason, when they was trying to go near the island, some sort of feeling washed over them that made it hard to even notice the island was there. When they got on the island itself, this feeling deepened when all their senses were being reduced as the further they walked in. They noticed that the foliage was colored purple and the trees had this strange metal-like wood. As they went in, their journey was cut short by the forest inhabitants, which we will read about now. The first of which, and the most common one, is the vibration crawler. These creatures have no eyes or ears and sense mainly through a high sense of vibrations. They also have tendrils, that two different types actually, that they use in everyday life. One is to send out small vibrations, which comes out of their head, to see things that may not be moving, whether they be prey or threats. They have tendrils on their backs, which help attack anything that may be a prey or a threat. They also peel off the wood from the trees since they don't have any exoskeletons like spiders, but these tendrils in which are very vital to them, and if cut off will die from the amount of blood that leaks out. The tendrils, however, are covered up with wood that they put on their bodies when not needed. The cave sirens are the second type of creature, but also more rare. These creatures live near caves and water, and while needing to breathe, they still swim like some other mammals that live in the water. They can mimic sound vibrations that their designs on their bodies, openings, sense. However, they cannot hear or see, so they do not know what these sounds are, but they just still copy them. Just like the vibration crawlers, they still sense through vibrations, and will mainly try to lure out their prey with the repeated sounds. However, this can be abused to get away from them. They have tendrils on their backs, which, just like the vibration crawlers, are vital to their bodies and also suck at the blood of prey when they have subdued them. The last but most special creature on the list is the guardian of the senseless forest, which is mostly plant-like. The tall plant-like anomaly, compared to the others, is more special in the way that there is only one of it and of its abilities. It has been shown to take rocks from the nearby area and turn them into wood. Its vines and roots on its body protrude large thorns, which go out for a long distance near the center, which, in a special radius, you won't be able to sense anything. You'll barely be able to even see the thorns themselves, which can prove much as a danger. However, when you get more close to the center and near the creature, the hindering effects of the forest will go away. This is because the eye itself that floats above the creature can send out concentrated beams of the power that hinders your senses and temporarily wipe out all your senses completely. It also has a powerful control over main roots nearby itself, which it can use to swing at you and hit you against things. Now we move on to the documentation of Vulture, which we have an image of displayed. I will be reading his own words on his trip, and also maybe giving my thoughts if I feel like it. Vulture here. I remembered you guys wanted me to document this trip to this forest. I don't usually get told to do that for jobs, but I guess I'll do it. You guys also wanted me to note what gear I had on before me for some reason. I had that weird lantern thing that you guys gave me before went on the mission. This man, we were given him this special device that our researchers cooked up, which would reduce the effects of the force itself. He also lists what he has on him as he goes in, which we wanted to know just in case we found the creatures on the island, and for other reasons, to make sure that no one else knew the island's existence, because we can't have any competitors finding it. As he goes on, as he talks about all the tools he has, he talks about the commands we've given him, but follows for the money. I also don't know the strange likes of his, which of opening up animals, but yeah, it's not important. When he got transported to the island, he also noted the same effects that our armed men had, which shows that this forest could actually be useful when we obtain the object that he has been bringing back to us. He's noted the interesting things being the foliage and the trees themselves. But one thing he noted which was strange to us, which was these plants that had a weird glow. They were not there before and must have grown over the forest. When he noted the glow and he brought back samples, we noticed that the glow and the bulb themselves had a similar effect to the eye on the Guardian. He talks about putting down trackers on his to find his way back, which he probably should have told our men to do something similar. Some of them got lost, and we lost contact with them as well. So, yeah, bad on our department's part. He remarks on reading the documents and finding some of the creatures, which he easily dispatches for his high skill, being an anomaly hunter himself. He moves towards a cave system which wasn't formed there before on the island, and noted how the rocks and the formation was similar to plant-like structure and was strangely soft. As he went through, he abused one of the weaknesses of the cave sirens, that being able to play sounds and to listen back for them to go into a different direction so they don't walk to the sirens, until he had to kill one because it was in his way. When he neared the threshold nearing the center, he remarked as the lantern device that we gave him started to fail and his senses were being massively hindered. Good thing he had a sword with him or something similar. Our men could have also probably used their guns, if only they have gone that far, to try and feel out the thorns so his body didn't get cut. And when he got nearing the center, to the exact center, he found the Guardian itself. He talked about the battle he had, and even remarked about being ashamed of getting hit. After dealing with which, he retrieved the orb, which he has given back to us after forming the file, and noted that the forest itself started to decompose and de-transform back into its original look, which we will note. And thinking about this orb itself, we could even use for technologies to further the compilation. I hope you enjoyed this documentation reading or whatever. Actually, you probably didn't, but I don't care because the company probably recommended you this anyways. That is all.